The Coconut Grove was a restaurant built in 1927 and located at 17 Piedmont Street near Park Square in downtown Boston, Massachusetts. This was a major attraction to all and was seen as a nightclub. However, there were no nightclubs in Boston that officially existed in 1942. The building was a single-story structure with a basement beneath. The basement contained a bar called the Melody Lounge, along with the kitchen, freezers, and storage areas. The first floor contained a large dining room area and ballroom with a bandstand, along with several bar areas separate from the ballroom. The dining room also had a retractable roof for use during warm weather to allow a view of the moon and stars. The main entrance to the Coconut Grove was a revolving door. A famous Hollywood cowboy movie star, Charles Gebhardt, was attending the Grove on November 28th for dinner with movie agents. At around 10:15 p.m. that evening, a busboy had been ordered by a bartender to fix a light bulb located at the top of an artificial palm tree in the corner of the basement Melody Lounge. It is believed that the bulb had been unscrewed by somebody desiring more intimacy with his date. Due to the lack of light in the area of the palm tree, the busboy lit a match in order to locate the socket for the light bulb. A moment later, several people thought they saw a flicker of a flame in the palm tree of the ceiling decorations. As they watched, they saw the decorations change color and appeared to be burning, but without a noticeable flame. Moments later, the palm tree burst into flames and the bartenders tried to extinguish the fire with water immediately. At this moment, everybody tried to exit this floor, which was just a basement with one exit. That was a single 4-foot stairway. All the other doors besides the main entrance were locked, so the main entrance became way too crowded with people quickly and was blocked for many others. This led many people unable to exit the building before the fire completely took over the entire building. This tragedy resulted in 492 deaths. Once the fire had broken out and the mass crowd realized their dire situation, everyone made for the one main entrance exit, which consisted of a single revolving door. The main entrance was jammed due to too many people trying to escape at once. Other exits were deemed useless as well. The side door exits were bolted shut to prevent people from leaving without paying. A large glass window was boarded over and no longer accessible, and all other doors that were apparently unlocked during the tragic event all opened inward, which made them useless during escape, as crowds of people slammed into them trying to flee the flames. Fire officials later testified, stating that if the exit doors would have opened outward rather than inward opening, potentially over 300 lives could have been saved. Through further investigation, it was discovered that the Coconut Grove establishment did not hold any proper licenses of operation for several years. No food handler permits, no liquor licenses, many of the busboys were underage, and any remodeling was performed without building licenses using unlicensed contractors. And given all of this, the building was rendered safe by the Boston Fire Department just 10 days prior to the fire. Throughout the year following the fire, Massachusetts and many other states developed laws for public establishments which banned flammable decorations, inward opening doors, and required establishments to have exit signs that stayed visible at all times. New laws also required clubs using revolving doors for egress must be flanked on either side by at least one outward swinging door, and that no emergency exit should ever be locked, blocked, or bolted shut. Further, state commission agencies were also created in order to better regulate establishment and make sure they are adhering to proper safety standards and codes. The Coconut Grove fire led to new ways in treating burn patients and smoke inhalation patients. A medical team at Boston City Hospital led by Dr. Charles Lund and Dr. Newton Browder developed a paper for modern burn therapy cited estimations of the areas of burns, which would allow fellow doctors and surgeons moving forward to estimate the severity of damage a burn patient has. The diagram developed from Drs. Lund and Browder would later be known as the Rule of Nines. Originally, burn victims were treated through an agonizing process called tanning, in which tannic acid was spread over the wound, creating a leathery scab that stopped bleeding and prevented infection. Later, a new technique was developed that included soft gauze covered in petroleum jelly and boric acid ointment, placed over the burned areas. Intravenous sulfadiazine, or known as penicillin, was also used to treat all patients initially and to prevent the spread of bacteria and infection. There could have been many ways to prevent such a catastrophic fire like the Coconut Grove fire and lowering the casualties. One way would have been to keep their maximum capacity limit. The night of the fire, there were about 1,000 occupants in the nightclub, and the maximum capacity for the building was only 430. Keeping to this limit would have cleared up exits and allowed for people to exit the building in a more efficient way with no pileup. Another prevention system is implementing a fire suppression system like sprinklers. Because of the lack of sprinklers and the vast amount of flammable decorations is why the fire spread so aggressively. Adding an automated fire suppression system could have slowed down the fire and even stopped it in its early stages. The building lost power and all of the exit signs were turned off as a result. Implementing an alternate source of power to the exit signs would have allowed the people inside to find the correct exits. The addition of an ambient light source within the view, the exit sign can stay illuminated without power because of the light it absorbs. This would have also been an adequate prevention system. Lastly, the main entrance was a single revolving door that was not made as an emergency exit, so people were stuck at the main entrance. Implementing a collapsible revolving door would have allowed for people to escape the fire. Also, some of the other exits were either locked, obstructed, or they opened inwards. The owners could have done a very easy fix to this as a prevention method and made sure no exits were blocked, and making sure in the building plans that all doors opened outwards would have saved many lives. Overall, there was a lot to be learned from the Coconut Grove nightclub fire. From the perspective of fire suppression and detection systems, they were very unsafe. The Coconut Grove nightclub fire took almost 500 lives in a matter of minutes. If there were adequate fire exits, smoke detection systems, and working suppression systems, many lives could have been saved from this. After the incident, the owner, Barney Walensky, was sentenced to 12 to 15 years in prison. In addition to being responsible for countless deaths at the club due to life safety code violations, Walensky didn't have permits for food handlers, liquor, or even building construction with unlicensed contractors. Furthermore, Coconut Grove was inspected by a fire captain just 10 days before and it was declared safe. Coconut Grove fire not only helped bring awareness to fire detection and suppression, but also helped create more stringent policies and codes for fire safety as time went on.